Mateus Fernandes to Tottenham links are getting heavy. Now, me personally, I'm not really too worried about this. I don't feel like United fans should be as well. At the end of the day, in your sign, who want to sign for our club, right? As we've seen last season, Benjamin Sesko had interest from Newcastle, found a way to our club. Same with Mbemo, had interest in Spurs, found his way to our club. So if Mateus Fernandes really wants to sign for Man United, he'll find a way to our club, regardless of what the price is. Now, you could look from it from a point of view, £85 million is a lot of money. Me personally, I feel like Mateus Fernandes is not worth that. Apologies to sweating people, it's damn hot in the UK. But Mateus Fernandes ain't worth that. He's not a non-negotiable starter into our team. He's not going to start over Kobe Mino. Yes, if we don't get a six, he might be there. But if we get a six and we get that third midfielder, he's not going to be a non-negotiable starter in our team. So £85 million is a bit crazy. And ultimately, Ineos have said in the past they're not going to be swayed by what other teams are doing in the market. Yes, you could say teams like Man City are buying Elliot Anderson for 115 million pounds or whatever. So the prices around the market is crazy. But at the end of the day, Ineos ain't going to be swayed by that. So £85 million is just a lot to spend on Mateus Fernandes. So ideally, I trust Ineos to have that scouting network to be able to get another number 8 in that position if Mateus Fernandes is going to be too costly for us. If you're looking at it from a devil's advocate, you could also say, like, if we wanted to get another midfielder like an Alex Scott, for example, it will be the similar price. And also Mateus Fernandes, he meets the exact criteria Ineos are looking for. As Omar Barada said in his interview, he was saying like he wants players who either are young or they're proven within the league or they're proven outside the league, and Ineos believe that they can do a thing inside the league. And Mateus Fernandes has this in abundance. He's turning 22 next month. He's played in the Premier League the season before last season at Southampton and played at West Ham in a deeper role. So he's proven in the Premier League. So obviously that would be a signing that makes sense. And if you look at it from a devil's advocate, as I mentioned, if we allow him to go to Tottenham, it wouldn't be a good look because then we've allowed Anderson to go past our hands to Man City. We've allowed Tonali to we're not interested in Tonali no more, looking like he might go Tottenham. And if by the chance we don't get Mateus Fernandes, it's the same thing. So it can kind of be concerning. But at the end of the day, with Ineos, I just feel like they've proven enough. Like last season, they proved that regardless. Look how much they strengthened our attack last season with Benjamin Sesko and Mbembo and Cunha. So regardless of the players that we do let go or whatever, I've just got faith in Ineos that they have to strengthen this midfield this summer. And I do feel like they will strengthen this midfield this summer. And obviously, links of Chiomeni are getting stronger. Real Madrid are saying he's not an untouchable no more. And we just know that how much he's going to improve on defense if we get him and our midfield. Playing in that sixth role, he's going to stay in that position. It will be very important. But with Mateus Fernandes, ultimately, £85 million is crazy. But obviously, Mateus Fernandes, we know how much he will impact our squad. Like he will strengthen our midfield a lot, especially being able to play as an 8 on the ball. He's good. He can make them good passes. Defensively, he's good as well. His off the ball work rate, and he's got a degree of pressure resistance about him. So we know that he will help our team a lot. And obviously, he's from within the league, so he's already got that experience. So it wouldn't be a huge increase in change with him. So we know how much he will strengthen our team. So with Mateus Fernandes, at the end of the day, as I mentioned, if he really wants to sign for Man United, he'll find a way to sign for Man United, innit? So it shouldn't be something that is stressing our fan base too much at this moment of time. Now, apologies, people. I've just got a couple notes over here. Even if you can even say in terms of the price for Mateus Fernandes, we've seen in previous transfer windows, play us getting players like Hoyland and Anthony running behind the agenda that is not our money. But at the end of the day, we've crucified these players for doing less. Like Hoyland cost £72 million. Like he weren't gonna start at Man United, but obviously we bought him for that much and it didn't work out for him. Mateus Fernandes, £85 million. He's not going to be a starter at Man United. So we don't want to be in that same position where we're just spending outlandish money on players who aren't starters for us. So we've kind of got to look at it from that type of angle. But Mateus Fernandes, if we don't get a Mateus Fernandes, there's other midfielders in the market like Alex Scott. I think Alex Scott is the same amount of money, really and truly. same like that 75, 80 million pounds. The midfielders in the Premier League, it's not a joke price wise. They're gonna cost a lot of money. But my thing is with Mateus Fernandes and Alex Scott, I like them because of what they bring on the ball. So I like the fact that they can be on the ball, they can drive the ball forward, they can get out of tight spaces, dribbling wise, they're good. And I feel like they've got that to a better level, especially technically on the ball going forward than maybe a player like a Baleba, who's probably better sitting a little bit more deep compared to these players. So Mateus Fernandes and Alex Scott will heavily improve our midfield, and it'll be boost for us next season going in to knowing that we're going to be in a lot of other competitions. Now Tottenham is looking like they're very ambitious this season. Obviously, we knew last season they finished 17th. Bringing in the Zerbi, so it's coming like they're just on votes. Like Tonali, they I think they splashed like 85 million pounds on him. Obviously, he got rejected, but they're prepared to spend big amounts of money, and that's something that West Ham are aware of, obviously. So I feel like West Ham, they're just trying to get a tug of war between us and Tottenham over who should be spending the most money on Mateus Fernandes, and trying to really just get the most bread for them personally. Now Mateus Fernandes, obviously Tottenham, obviously I mean West Ham, they're relegated at the end of the day. It's not like they're in the league, not like they're top 8, top 10. They're relegated. So selling one of their better players for 85 million pounds is absolutely ludicrous, knowing that they're relegated and they're in the championship. So I feel like Ineos are looking at this like they don't want to really get drawn out of their position to spend a higher sum of money on a player who isn't worth that sum of money. And they'd rather spend that on other players, because obviously we're gonna need another midfielder 6, and we're gonna need another winger, we're gonna need a left back. Arguably, some people are saying another centre back, some people are saying another striker. So we're going to need to gather up a lot of money and splash it out on a lot of these positions. It's not just like we're gonna improve our midfield and that's it. Like we need to improve our whole squad, really and truly. So we kind of got to look at it from that angle. And ultimately, Ineos, like as all my brothers mentioned in the interviews, they've got a huge scouting network, right? So, and they've also mentioned how they're not going to be drawn in by what's happening with other teams in and around the market, like Man City splashing 160 million pounds on Elliot Anderson. So I feel like us getting another 8 in and around the squad is a non-negotiable. I feel like they are going to do that, but it's a matter of who rather than if they're gonna do that. So we shouldn't really be too annoyed. And if they don't do that, then you lot can shoot me for all I'm saying, and you lot could, even me, I'll be there getting on to Ineos and everything. But for the most part, we kind of got to relax. At the end of the day, the market's just started. It's literally been 10, 11 days. It hasn't been long. So we kind of got to be a little bit patient when it comes to this. Ideally, if he wants to sign for us, as I've mentioned, he'll find a way to sign for us, man. If Tottenham end up paying a higher wage, he wants to go to them. He's more than welcome to do that. That's on him, innit? Like he's not really serious, because United next season we shouldn't be playing. We should be challenging, for the league. We should be challenging. We should be putting a good account for ourselves in the other competitions we're in. Not saying we should fully challenge for the league, but we should put a good account for ourselves. So if he wants to sign for a team like Tottenham, then that's on him, innit? At the end of the day, then we got to look at other targets and find other players. And the market's just started, man. We got to give it time to fully season. But that's just what I think of it. Make sure you lot tell me what you think in the comments about the situation. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and support. Love.